Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We are here to view our Tuesday evening league. It's the brand new start of a new championship. The GTMC is back for the fourth time. Yes, it's the GTMC Season 4, and we will be watching Lobby 1. What is the GTMC, I hear you all ask? There we go. Sound's working. So, what is the GTMC? It's the Grand Touring Manufacturers Championship, the Virtual Racer Club's only multi-category racing series, and drivers will need to master cars from Group 3 and Group 4 across 10 rounds. It has been set up for amateur drivers to take part in and is intended to be a fun, friendly and enjoyable championship. The championship overview: drivers, teams will select a manufacturer to represent during the championship. It is a free choice of manufacturer and will be first come, first served basis. Only 2 cars per manufacturer are permitted. Drivers will then use both the Group 3 and Group 4 cars from their chosen manufacturer. If a manufacturer offers more than one choice of either Group 3 or Group 4 car, the car used during the first round must be used for the remainder of the season. At each round there will be a sprint race using the Group 4 cars and feature race using the Group 3 cars. There will be 10 rounds and 20 races in total. So yes, the sprint race will be a 15-minute sprint on super soft tyres with no pit stops, tyre wear ×4 and fuel ×4. The feature race will be a 40-minute timed race, and super soft, soft and medium tyres are all available. They have to use at least 2 compounds for at least 3 laps. The tyre wear also will be set on ×4 and the fuel will be set on ×4. Now, we have 2 lobbies of this, so let me quickly explain how Lobby 1 and Lobby 2 work. Lobby 1 is the top 10 finishers from Season 3 of the GTMC, so they booked their spot in Lobby 1, and then the rest of the fields all did times in the daily races to set, and it was the top 5 times went into Lobby 1, the rest into Lobby 2. So that's how that works out. Now let us have a look at your grid for Lobby 1 of the GTMC Season 4 Round 1 here at the Red Bull Ring, the 2.69 mile 9-cornered track. Let's have a look then, see who we've got. They had 5 minutes of qualifying, I believe. Wow, I was further away than I thought. Here we go. So on pole we have IR Graham in his Alfa Romeo. In second spot we have Little's GP in his BMW. Third spot, Homesick Alien in his Mercedes. In fourth we have Racer Brown in his Aston Martin. In fifth we have Steven Styler in his McLaren. Looks good. In sixth we have Liam Anfield, also in an Alfa Romeo, after winning the championship last season. Look, yeah, he's got a number 1 on his car, reigning champion. There you go, well done Liam Anfield. Right, where was he? He was in 6th, wasn't he? Yeah, at 7th is, oh god, Iron Doctor, new to the Virtual Racers Club. Welcome Iron Doctor in his Chevrolet. These are the Group 4 cars, remember, that they've qualified on for the sprint race. Now in 8th spot, is a G Richards, or Gritches, maybe it should be. I should ask him in Discord how he wants it said. I don't check very well. In 9th we have Matt Psycho in the second BMW, teammate to Little's GP. In 10th we have Alpha Nut in the Toyota. Looks good. In 11th we have Gazman in the Lexus. This is a bit shoddy, I only scribbled it down, I'm struggling to read it. In 12th we have Kale in a Chevrolet with a snake. Well, I like I like the skin. I was going to say snake skin, but it's not. It's just triangles, isn't it? It just looks awesome. So he was in, what was he in? 12th, so 13th. Ooh, second Aston Martin of Guesty. So 14th, sorry, is Daz in the Jaguar, the Silk Cut Jaguar. It looks very similar to the one that ran out at our endurance event earlier this year. And Noxie in the second Lexus in 15th there. I like that Lexus, it looks nice. Let's hope it can go fast. So that is the grid. It wasn't, I didn't read it out very good, sorry, I should have written numbers right next to them. I tagged it onto the one from yesterday. So let's get this sprint race underway for Lobby 1 of the GTMC Season 4 Round 1. We're watching IR Graham's car. We're pressing play. We're waiting for those lights. That's a better view, I think. Get rid of that. I think we've already got rid of the big numbers, so we're watching for the cars to move. There they go. IR Graham, a great start there from the Alfa Romeo. Little's GP just tucking in behind. Then you've got Homesick Alien in third. Racer Brown in his Aston Martin looking up the inside of Alien, but not quite managing it. Also through the corner, you've got Stevie Styler further down. Looks like everyone's making it through the first corner. It can be a shocker sometimes. Alpha Nut dropping to the back there. He's on the super soft tyres. So leading the way is IR Graham. He is also, well, they're all on the super softs because they're on the super softs because it's the 15-minute sprint. It's the next race that I have to worry about tyres. Sorry about that. So we're going for it. 15 minutes in the Group 4 cars. Little GP in his BMW. Homesick Alien holding third place in that. Oh, Stevie Styler's moved up to fourth. G. Richards, Racer Brown's dropped down 2 places, but he's having a go at the Mustang. He's looking up the inside. Can he make it stick? He's a little bit too far back. And G. Richards now, he's got the racing line further up. You can see Stevie Styler all over the back of Homesick Alien's Mercedes, trying to find himself third spot there off of the Alien. Really close now. Further down the field we have G. Richards held that 5th place. He looks like he's starting to come on to the McLaren himself. Racer Brown down to 6th. Liam Anfield on the move in 7th place, getting used to that Alpha after his season in the Audi. There is Iron Doctor, newcomer to the group. Welcome, Iron Doctor. He's in his Chevrolet in 8th place. Matt Psycho in 9th in the BMW. Behind him is Kale with Guesty up into 11th spot there. We saw he was... No, Noxie was at the back, so Guesty in 11th, with Noxie in 12th. Daz making a move on Gazman. Daz in 13th, Gazman there 14th, and Alpha Nut there in his Toyota sitting at the back. Yesterday we saw the Toyota of Skyjacker win the Group 4 car. Now Little GP has moved ahead of IR Graham. Was that just under toe? We will see. He's tucked up behind. Oh, he's already ahead. Sorry. Let's have a look then. So coming into the first corner, IR Graham, Little GP, or Littles, he's going to move up the inside later on the brakes, and he makes it. A nice clean move there, and he just stays on the track there, I think, just inside the sausage, and IR Graham's not giving that up that easily. He's chasing him down. Second, third place for Homesick Alien with Stevie Styler, trying to do something similar. Up ahead, Little GP, sorry, driving very defensive there on the apex, giving IR Graham a better drive out of the corner. So IR Graham starting to attack the BMW. Homesick Alien fending over off that McLaren. Oh, what's going on here? No, it's just Littles driving defensive. IR Graham trying to go around the outside in the Alpha. Littles leaves just enough space for IR Graham to manoeuvre. But IR Graham tucking in behind there is G. Richards. G. Richards has got ahead. Oh my lord. We think we may have had a coming together. Stevie Styler and Alien. I can't see the Alien. Oh dear, there they go into turn 3. I don't know, it didn't look like much contact there, but Homesick Alien spinning around, and there he goes, he's gone. I can't keep up with him, he's fallen. There he is, now in 15th for Homesick Alien. and Stevie Styler there waiting for him. It was very, very slight contact there. Stevie Styler, he must have been twitching his accelerator pedal. He must have been thinking, I've got to crack on. So Littles still ahead of IR Graham. IR Graham hunting down that BMW, not letting it get away. Race around now, up into third place ahead of Richers. G Richers. It's two capitals. Could be GR Richers. I'll ask in Discord today. And there is Iron Doctor up into 5th ahead of Kale. We saw Kale further back. Matt Psycho in 7th place. Liam Anfield in 8th. No. I was going to say Guesty on Liam Anfield there. They're fighting it out, duking it. The Alpha and the Aston Martin. Daz in 10th in his Jag. Alpha not up into 11th now ahead of Noxie. Homesick Alien recovering with Stevie Styler, and we've lost Gazman as well. Gazman very far off of the pace there. I don't know what happened to Gazman. So leading we have Littles ahead of IR Graham with Racer Brown back in 3rd, but Racer Brown, G Richards is on him. G Richards looking for a way past the Aston Martin in his Mustang. He's up the inside, the back end sliding. Can Racer Brown get the front end of that Aston Martin back underneath the Mustang? No, the Mustang keeps hold of it. Meaty, beefy American. And there we go, Little's GP still ahead of IR Graham in that 1st place. IR Graham getting purples, trying to close down on the BMW. G Ritchie's, we just saw he went up into 3rd place ahead of Racer Brown, but Racer Brown coming back at him. There is Iron Doctor in a fine 5th place ahead of Kale. Matt Psycho 7th in the BMW, then Guesty in 8th, under attack from the other Aston Alfa Romeo. Sorry. In his number 1 car, he's out wide there. He's pulled back in behind Guesty. Now Guesty's out wide. They're both out wide in that corner. And Guesty trying to get back on the track ahead of Liam Anfield. Up ahead, he looks like Matt Psycho making a move on Kale. There you go. No, he's just having a look. But Liam Anfield moving ahead of Guesty as they both left the track. Daz in 10th with Alphanaut in 11th. There is Homesick Alien on his comeback. Noxie ahead of Stevie Styler with Gazman trailing. Just doing a bit of testing, I imagine. He's done a 37.5. He's gone out wide in that corner. There's been much discussion about the first corner. I think we've noticed a few people going wide there. And Lil's GP moving further away from IR Graham. With Ritchie's under attack from Racer Brown, and Racer Brown now under the inside of G Ritchie's, and there's cars all over the place behind Iron Doctor, bunched up with Kale, trying to make some avoiding action, taking to the dirt, losing a bit of time, and Matt Psycho all over the back of him in that BMW. Liam Anfield holding position ahead of Guesty in 9th. In 10th we have Daz only just ahead of Alpha, not there in 11th with Homesick Alien. So Daz did a 38.1 last time around. Alphanaut did a 37.7. Alphanaut on the move. And Homesick Alien, oh gosh, did a 37.4 also. So Daz on the back foot at the moment there. And Alphanaut moving up into 10th place for Toyota. Every point counts at this point in the season. Early days, get as many points as you can. Little GP still ahead of IR Graham. Going wide. I think everyone goes wide in that corner. Red Bull is notorious. And there you see Racer Brown managing to stay between the lines. There is G Ritchie's. He's in 4th now behind. And look at this batch here. Who do we go with? Where? Kale. Sit on there with Kale. Watching the hustle and the bustle up ahead. Liam Anfield ahead of Guesty. Kale having a look up the inside of that Aston Martin. Just ahead of him you've got Matt Psycho. Who's leading the whole lot? It's Iron Doctor. So looking behind we can see Liam Anfield in 6th place, Matt Psycho 7th, Liam Anfield having a look, Iron Doctor's all over the curbs, he hasn't come past yet, they're side by side, oh my lord, we should be in the exterior camera for that. And there we see Iron Doctor in his Chevy maintaining that position, but Liam Anfield, it's just a matter of time. He's really getting the poke on in that Alpha. Guesty up into 7th, Kale 8th. We saw Matt Psycho going a little bit wide in the corner, and he's lost a couple of positions. He's got Alpha not breathing down his neck. Alpha not just looking for any kind of space to get that Toyota up there. He's heading for the outside line. Matt Psycho protecting the inside there. And his BMW wiggling all over the place. Alpha not slotting into a 10th place. Little GP still leading. G Richards popping into the pits on what is it, lap 6. He's a little short. Should pit after 15 minutes. Little GP then in first place ahead of IR Graham. He's pulled himself out a little bit of breathing space. Racer Brown in that podium position so far, and he is a mile ahead of Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield up into 4th place now. He's got himself a bit ahead of the Iron Doctor. Kale now ahead of Guesty. Guesty ahead of Matt Psycho Alphanot. And behind them we've got Daz, Homesick Alien and Stevie Styler catching that little crew up as they race each other. Side by side, Daz and Homesick Alien going through the corner. The Jag, the Mercedes, the McLaren, almost side by side. Amazing racing up and down the field. As you can see, Kale now leading that little troop of cars. And it looks like Alphanot has dropped to the back into 9th place. And here we see there, and Daz, he's sliding the Jaguar through turn 3. Looks like Stevie Styler's looking up the inside of him, and he's going to make it stick. He is. He's up into 10th place. Stevie Styler in the McLaren. But the Jaguar's strong. The Jaguar, no, Jaguar can't come back. That little race ahead of them. We've got Iron Doctor now behind Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield coming through the pack like an alpha, like a champion. So Iron Doctor in 5th, Kale 6th place in his Chevrolet. There you got Guesty and Matt Psycho and Alphanot all in a little battle themselves. Matt Psycho in the Beamer while his teammate leads the race. Guesty in 7th, fine place for the Aston Martin. The other Aston Martin up into 3rd. There is Alpha moving up into 7th spot in that corner. Guesty going really wide, and Matt Psycho losing out somehow as well. Stevie Styler catching up that bunch. He did a 37.5 his last time around, and Matt Psycho a 38.2. The other BMW quite comfortable leading. He's got the fastest lap of this race. We see Little GP. He came and won the Green Hell 1 hour, and I believe the endurance race last time around, did he not? I believe so, but I'm not sure. At Spa, I think. I'm not sure. Please don't quote me on that. So IR Graham hunting down the BMW at 36.2 from IR Graham last time around, 36.9 from Little GP. His tyres looking a lot worse for wear than IR Graham's. A Racer Brown there coming around in 3rd. We've got Liam Anfield in 4th with the Iron Doctor all over the back of him. Oh, Liam Anfield really looking after those super softs. The Iron Doctor doing a fine job on his debut here with the Virtual Racers Club. Kale there in 6th place, hunting him down, the South African tenacious driver. And we've got Alphanot into 7th ahead of Matt Psycho. There is, oh yeah, there's Guesty in the Aston Martin. Stevie Styler behind Guesty. I thought we see Stevie Styler starting to move up the pack, catching up. Or maybe that's who he is catching up. A little bump there for Guesty into the corner. No harm, no foul. And it's given Homesick Alien the opportunity to rock up to the back of the McLaren. But it looks like the McLaren now making a move for first corner. Homesick Alien sitting behind these guys. What's going on with this? Oh, that's Daz. There we see. Oh, and there we go and see Stevie Styler making it work. Matt Psycho, not Matt Psycho, Guesty out wide on that corner there with Stevie Styler up into 9th position, and Homesick Alien trying to come up the rear. He's following Stevie Styler, trying to get that inside line on the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin side by side with the McLaren. They can't make up their mind who's in what position. They're still side by side. Let's get on board Homesick. He's got the view of all views. with the Aston Martin and the McLaren, the two British marquees, side by side going into turn 3. Looks like the Aston Martin just pulling slightly ahead, but is it too much to ask for the Aston Martin to slow down? And there you go, Stevie Styler has moved up into 9th place, and Homesick Alien draws closer to the Aston Martin. He's going for the outside line on Guesty. Guesty maintains the position. What a great race down here further in the field. Still the top 3 is... Oh, IR Graham's leading. I apologise. IR Graham, the tenacious one. He's just got the fastest lap. I bet this overtake was ages ago. How long have we got to go back? There we see. So virtually nearly a lap. And we can see IR Graham lining up. Little's GP, we said IR Graham's tyres looking a lot healthier. Yes, a lot healthier. And there you go, like candy from a baby for IR Graham. Just nipping up the inside whilst posting the fastest lap of the race at 36.065. Little GP down into 2nd spot. Racer Brown, I don't know if he's making any headway on these guys. A 36.6 last time around from him. 37.0 from Little GP. He's losing those tyres. IR Graham at 36.0 we saw. So maybe before the end, well, we've only got less than 3 minutes of racing to go. Liam Anfield, it looks like those Alphas look after those tyres very nicely. Iron Doctor, a fine 5th place in the Chevrolet. Kale in 6th for Chevy. Alpha Nut up into 7th, but he's fighting with Matt Psycho. They're dicing side by side. The BMW's got the inside line now. You would expect the BMW to take 7th spot from the Toyota, and it has done so, but the Toyota's still there. Matt Psycho has to give racing room. It closes down his corner for this, his angle for this corner, giving Alpha Nut the opportunity to move up the inside. There is Alpha Nut. Tenacious, he stayed in there. He kept his foot in there. Made it very awkward for Matt Psycho. They're still side by side, but Alpha Nut has now got the inside for the second to last corner. There he goes, turn 8. And into the final corner in 7th spot. Great racing from Matt Psycho and the Toyota of Alpha Not there. Stevie Styler just ahead of Guesty now with Homesick Alien in 11th. 12th is Daz with 13th. G Richards after his pit stop. So I don't know. I think that's a... I don't know if it's disqualification or a 30-second penalty, but either way it's about the same. Noxie in 14th. Those Lexuses, they've not figured much in this race, not figured much at all. Not sure. Feel bad for Noxie. Wasn't he in the Mustang last season when the Mustang was pretty poo? And this season the Mustang is looking quite racy. Racer Brown saying morning all in the chat. IR Graham then leading 37.1 last time around from IR Graham. Little's GP 38.1, almost a second slower than the Alpha at this point. Racer Brown did a 36.8, only 2/10 off of Little's GP time. It's going to take a while to catch him up, and they're in the last minute of racing. Liam Anfield at 36.9. He's ahead of Kale. Kale moving up into 5th, ahead of Iron Doctor. Iron Doctor losing the spot to the same marquee. And now Kale in 5th. Did a 37.4 last time around. Iron Doctor did a 37.8, only 4/10 off. It's nothing in it between the two Chevys. Behind them, Matt Psycho wins out the battle with Alpha Not, who has ended up behind Guesty. Stevie Styler in 10th, ahead of Daz. The Jaguar has got ahead of the Mercedes, but what a little bunch of racing there. And there we see G Richards after his pit stop trying to catch up the guys ahead of him. Noxie in 14th, Gasman in 15th. So IR Graham must be his last lap now going around. Little's GP in 2nd place. Racer Brown finishing the podium. Then you have Liam Anfield in the 2nd Alpha. Kale head Chevy today ahead of Iron Doctor, but Iron Doctor has shown some great racing out there. Matt Psycho in 7th for BMW. Alpha Not defending from Guesty. Guesty having one final attack on this last lap. Stevie Styler sitting in 10th, hoping something kicks off between Alpha and Guesty. Alpha up the inside. Alpha up the inside of Guesty. He's getting the 8th spot maybe. Guesty's back end is wiggling. Can Stevie Styler get anything out of that as well? Homesick Alien in 11th. He got back ahead of Daz, but they're side by side. Richards there and Gasman's already finished. We're coming back. No, we're all right. We've got some time before they cross the line. Then we've got Liam Anfield. Oh, where's the racing then? There we go. It's Alpha on Guesty all the way to the end. Stevie Styler looks like he might profit out of this if he is careful. G Richards got ahead of Dutch now, and Homesick there. So IR Graham, he's just coming around the final 2 corners. A great victory for IR Graham here in the round 1 of the 4th season of the GTMC. Congratulations, IR Graham, little sheepy. He was close, he had tyre wear issues there. Is Racer Brown finishing off your podium. Congratulations, take a boo, my son. Liam Anfield bringing the Alpha home in 4th, so great points for Alpha in this race. Kale in 5th for Chevy, with Iron Doctor just behind. Hang on. Let them 3 cross, and I'm going to pause it there because I'm a wimp. So who was I up to? Liam Anfield, Kale for Chevy, coming home in 5th. Iron Doctor, I do like his PSN name, I've got to say. Iron Doctor, you can see, just squint your eyes, he's there, finishing in 6th. 7th for Matt Psycho. 8th for Alphanaut in the end. Stevie Styler right up at our guest, he lost out the most there. G Richards hasn't crossed the line. Daz, homesick. And Noxie, but what's the gap? Noxie caught up homesick quite quickly, didn't he? Oh, I'm tempted to play it. Okay. So there goes G Richie's, Daz. Here comes homesick. Yeah, Noxie not far off homesick in the end there, and a pause. So we'll just quickly go through those results so I can write them in. IR Graham in the end, initially taking the lead, dropping down to 2nd and coming back with a good tyre deg. Whereas Little GP finishing in 2nd place, found those tyres going off about 3 or 4 laps from the end. Racer Brown, oh my god, what's going on with these things? Racer Brown doing a fine job for Aston Martin, bringing her home in 3rd place. Liam Anfield doing wonders with the Alfa Romeo after his teammate winning. That's a formidable team, isn't it? IR Graham and Liam Anfield. My word. In 5th place then we have Kale in the Chevy. South African doing a fine job today. He was quite far down the grid, so he came through. Had a super one, Kale. Well done. For 5th place today. 6th there for the Iron Doctor. So 6th place for Iron Doctor. In 7th, Matt Psycho. My god. Oof. Sorry. The 16 car, the BMW. 7th place for Matt Psycho today. In 8th we have Alphanaut in the Toyota. He was battling all the way through there in the middle of the pack. Stevie Styler, we saw earlier, having a 3rd and 4th battle with Homesick Alien. There was a nudge. I don't know if there was much of a nudge, but there was a nudge. Homesick spun and Stevie waited. Fought his way back to 9th place, so good stuff after, I think, lap 2, being right at the back. That McLaren shows promise in the Group 4 category. Guesty there in 10th. Man, he was battling today, fighting for everything. So Guesty, where did I write you down, Guesty? Word. So Guesty finishing in 10th spot with excuse me, G Richards a temporary 11th place, but I think we'll take a penalty for pitting in the sprint race. 12th then for Daz in the Jaguar. Looks like him and the Jaguar have got to get very well acquainted there. Back in 12th. 13th for Homesick Alien, holding his 3rd place for a while. So we don't really know what the Mercedes is capable of yet. But Homesick Alien finding himself in 13th for the first race of round 1. 14th, oh, for heaven's sakes. 14th for Noxie in that Lexus. Doesn't look good for Lexus this early stage of the race. I just put Daz. Oh, sorry, Daz. I put your 12th in Gazman's spot. How weird. So 14th for Noxie. All over the place. Look at me. It's like I've been drinking or something. And 15th for Gazman. But it looked like he had early woes in that race, being nearly half a lap behind very early on. So that was race 1. Who didn't cross the line? It was our friend the Noxter. So let him cross his line. Boom, there he goes, 14th. Then they jump out of them group 4 cars, rush across the pit lane and jump into the group 3 counterparts. Whilst they're doing that, the randomator is drawing a number. We found out yesterday it drew 15th, so it's a total reverse grid from that race you just saw. So it should be Gazman on pole with Noxie in second place. It's a rolling start in the Group 3 cars. 40 minutes of absolutely spanking racing here. Don't forget, they have to use 2 of the compounds for a minimum of 3 laps. We got a very juicy race from Lobby 2 yesterday, so hopefully we should expect nonetheless from Lobby 1. Gazman leading them away then on the rolling starts. Teammate Noxie behind him. Maybe they can help each other here. Stay ahead of the Mercedes. Hope the Mercedes is a big wedge ahead of the Jaguar. So here they go, 40 minutes of spectacular racing. Gazman starting on the super soft tyres. Noxie also starting on the super soft tyres. Homesick Alien has opted for racing softs. Daz giving it a wiggle. He's on the racing softs also. G Richards on the super softs. He's already swamping Daz. It looked like a little tap, but Daz has kept it under control. Guesty manoeuvring up the inside of G Richie's. And now Richie's down to 6th place with Stevie Styler on the racing soft tyres all over the back of him. Matt Psycho, a bit of a gap from them. He's on the super softs with Iron Doctor in 9th in the Chevy on the super softs. Then in 10th we've got Kale on the racing softs. Gazman still leading. Iron Doctor looks like he's moved up. Liam Anfield on the super softs in that Alfa Romeo. Race Brown in 12th. Lil's GP in 13th, Io Graham in 14th, and oh my, Alpha Nut's some way down. I don't know what's happened. Sorry, Alpha, no one wants to see their things. Here we go. Oh, just very similar, I think, to Skyjacker yesterday. That Supra does not like the curbs. So Gazman leading from Noxie. Homesick Alien sticking close. Here we see Daz racing with Guesty. They're all bunched up here. You've got G Richie's and Stevie Styler trying to get by. Look like G Richie's got a bit of wheel spin mid-corner. Stevie managing to pull up the inside of him, but no, G Richie's on the go now. Up into 5th. The Jaguar pulling away from that little battle, and Guesty dropping to the back of it. Guesty then trying to follow the Mustang through and get up the inside of the McLaren. The McLaren just manoeuvring around the outside, trying to battle for a bit of space. And there we see the power of the Aston Martin, but there Stevie Styler managing to get up the inside of the powerhouse of the Aston Martin, the delicate, nimble McLaren. But there we see Stevie Guesty. Oh, he's come back. He's come back. He's back up into 6th, battling side by side all the way around. So far, Daz up into 4th. Homesick still in 3rd. Noxie still in 2nd. Gazman in 1st. G Richie's is 4th. Like I said, Daz 5th. You can see the Jaguar just ahead. And we've got the massive battle between Guesty and Stevie Styler. But now Guesty seeming to get out of that corner a lot faster than Daz. Maybe a bit of a toe and a better drive. And he's up and he's already ahead of Daz. Daz now's turn to deal with Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler out wide. Oh my God, there's a couple. They nearly lost. So who was it there? Just Daz and Iron Doctor both losing. I can't see Iron Doctor. There's Iron Doctor recovering. Alpha Nut catching up with him. The casualties of turn 1. And Gazman pulling away. Oh my Lord, we've lost Noxie as well in amongst all of that. Was he one of the spinners? He looks like he's just recovering. They're all coming past. Noxie in 10th place. Liam Anfield trying to get the toe. I.R. Graham already up into 9th place. So I.R. Graham on the move. in this early days. Looks like Noxie's got a bash on the front of that car and he's back off the track. Poor Noxie, not happy with the Lexus so far. Gazman finding some sort of grip in that beast of a car. Homesick Alien moving up into second, but he's got the Mustang breathing down his neck. Like I said, it's a long race to go. Lots can happen, but your top three so far is Gazman in his Lexus, Homesick Alien in his Mercedes, G Ritchie's in his Mustang. Fourth place now is Guesty in the Aston Martin. Kale up into fifth, Stevie Styler sixth. There we see Matt Psycho, BMW on BMW action, beautiful stuff. Little's GP is just making the move on his teammate. It's got to be clean when you race your teammate, and that's it. Beautiful stuff. So Little's GP moving ahead of Matt Psycho. Maybe they're doing a bit of teamwork here, towing each other around. IR Graham moving in fast on those two. 29.9 last time round for IR Graham. Matt Psycho managing a 31.0. So yeah, IR Graham, the Alfa Romeo, very nimble at the moment. Racer Brown trying to get past Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield dropping a position there. Daz all the way down to 12 after we saw a half spin out of turn 1. Noxie, we saw he had damage on the front. He's recuperating, trying to resurrect his race in 13th place. Alpha Nut did. Oh, Alpha Nut and Tor are having a battle for last place. Alpha Nut managing to get ahead of the Chevrolet. Alpha Nut managing a 29.5 last time around, and then Iron Doctor, he had his spin, did a 40. So Gazman, 29.5 there from Gazman. He's just coming around to complete his third lap. He's on the super soft tyres, already used a quarter of a tank of fuel up. And there he goes, a 29.7. Homesick Alien managing a 29.4, but G Richards a 29.1. He's pulled out of the wake of the Mercedes. He's trying to get that inside line. He didn't leave much racing room for Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien taking to the red stuff and then slotting in behind G Ritchie's. Kale under threat from Guesty. Guesty really starting to apply some pressure in that Aston Martin, that Chevy, clinging on. Further back, Stevie Styler trying to make a move on Stevie Styler behind Little's GP, sorry. IR Graham's further back than them. So the BMW has moved ahead, of the McLaren. BMW, since getting past Matt Psycho, it's got past IR Graham and Stevie Styler as it. Wow, we've missed some action there from Little's GP. It's on the move in the number 5 car. Gazman still leading from G Ritchie's, who's got Homesick Alien tattooed all over the bumper of his car. Kale in 4th place. He's pulled away a little bit from Guesty. There we see Little's GP ahead of Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler pushing that McLaren to the max to see if he can get some more speed out of her. There we see IR Graham hunting them down. The winner of sprint race, Matt Psycho, there in 9th place, with Racer Brown applying some pressure in his Aston Martin. 11th is Liam Anfield, our GTMC champion of the moment. Daz in his Jag under threat from Noxie. Side by side, Noxie's got the inside line. Can he get into the corner? Flames screaming out the side of that car. He's gone out wide. Noxie back onto the track ahead of Daz, but looks like Daz catching him up quite quickly in the tow. Daz coming for the inside line. Noxie trying to close it down, but Noxie, I think, late braking into that corner, and Daz losing positions. Daz down into 15th place now. He must have really maybe he knocked Noxie. They didn't look close together, but you don't know. It's always a bit strange. And Iron Doctor trying to get back at Alpha Nut, who is now up into 12th position, and Iron Doctor up into 13th. So Gazman still leading this race. 29.2 last time around. Richards 29.6. Kale's got ahead of Homesick Alien. Wow, Kale had a spurt, a 29.1 his last time around. He did a 28.8 the lap before that. Homesick Alien, a 29.9 and a 29.4. So, I don't know, a small mistake maybe from the Alien. We'll see on this lap what he did. Not really, a 30.4, sorry. Next to Kale's 28.9. But there they are, together, bumper to bumper, going through turn 1. Nothing in it between third and fourth. Guesty in fifth place, ahead of a fast-moving Lidl's GP. He's got the fastest lap with a 28.637. He's got the super soft tyres on. Stevie Styler under threat from IR Graham. Bro on bro action. IR Graham up the inside of the McLaren. The McLaren clinging to the back of the Alfa Romeo, hoping to get the toe and maybe get a better line into turn 3. We're on lap 6. We're 8.5 minutes into this 40-minute race. And you see Stevie Styler just ahead of us. I'm not Stevie Styler, IR Graham just ahead of us. We're sat on board with Stevie Styler. IR Graham braking earlier than Stevie Styler fancied. A little love punt between the two. So Gasman still holding the lead of this race on those super soft tyres. He's half a tank down. We're coming up to about 9 minutes. So, you know, it's not quite half. They can't go quite half a race. But I don't know if those super softs would go the way we saw them falling off the cliff edge in the sprint race. So Richie's, he's a 28.8 last time around. Homesick Alien back ahead of Kale. 29.2 from the Alien. Kale managing a 30 dead. So they're swapping places. There is Little GP getting up the inside of Guesty. Guesty coming back at the BMW in the Aston Martin, but he's on the outside for this corner. What can he do? He's slightly ahead, but I think Littles has got the better line in the BMW, and he is up into 5th place, but they're side by side at the moment. Coming down, the speed of the Aston Martin powering past the BMW, but the BMW can get into those corners later on the brakes, and there you go. Guesty having to get out of it, I think. And Little GP moving on up into 5th place. IR Graham in 7th. Racer Brown now in 8th. Stevie Styler slipped back into 9th place. Don't know, Stevie Styler having a manic race back there. Matt Psycho in the 2nd BMW, also on the super soft tyres. A 30.2 from Matt Psycho last time around. And there he's come across the McLaren, getting it all wrong in the corner. It's wiggling from side to side, snaking for Stevie Styler. And Matt Psycho moving up into 9th place. Noxie a little bit further back. This Lexus struggling with that. There is Daz under threat from Alphanut. Iron Doctor. Liam Anfield right at the back. Has he pitted? Yes, he's pitted. He's on an outlap. So Liam Anfield pitting first on lap 7. Well, it would have been 6. And so is Iron Doctor. Iron Doctor into the pits to get rid of those super softs. So we've had 2 of the field pit. And Richie's coming at Gasman there. Gasman. No, Richie's can't get the power down on that Mustang. It's wiggling. And Gasman still maintaining that lead just about. He's doing 30.0s now. Whereas G Richie's managing a 29.5. Is he going to break into this corner? He's made it in his Logitech Ford Mustang. And now, yes, he takes the position ahead of Gasman. Homesick Alien closing down on that Lexus. So the Lexus in trouble at the moment. Not as good handling on the lighter fuel. The tyres starting to go. The racing soft tyres around it. Well, Richards is on super softs, so it just looks like Gasman is struggling, but it looked like he was trying to come back at G Richie's then. G Richie's, he stayed on, and Gasman has ran into the pits. It's the only wise thing to do. It looks like he's struggling on those tyres. G Richie's maintaining and staying out there. Homesick Alien. Kale in 3rd place now. Little GP up into 4th place. Guesty in 5th. IR Graham in 6th place. Racer Brown coming around for 7th spot. None of these have decided to pit yet. Matt Psycho still out there. We are 12.5 minutes into this race. Stevie Styler in 9th position now. 10th place for Noxie. He hasn't pitted like his teammate. Alphanut in 11th, and there you see Gazman just coming out onto the pit lane. Full tank of fuel, racing softs. He's ahead of Liam Anfield, who pitted just recently, but he's not a million miles ahead of Liam Anfield, so Liam Anfield could be in the shout there. Iron Doctor. And now Daz going in with the Jaguar. Massive grid finder on the back. Friend of the Virtual Racers Club. So Richards leading from Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien looking for an opportunity now. Those racing softs must be feeling quite good. And I think G. Richards in that Mustang on the old super softs starting to feel a lack of grip in the corners, whilst Alien is feeling good. He's feeling good. Richards whizzes past the pit entrance, so he's not going in just yet, nor did Kale. Kale sat behind us there trying to grab a toe. Guesty, Racer Brown, Little GP all went in. Matt Psycho also pitting, so half the field pitting. IR Graham staying out in 4th. Stevie Styler moving up into 5th position. It's all change down the field, so let's have a look at G. Richards. He looks like he's just about to get overtaken by the Alien. I find it hard to pull away, but I want to see what the rest of the field are doing. No, the Alien can't quite make it stick just yet. Kale catching them up though. Homescaling will want to be getting on with business. I think Richie's was 29.5 last time for Richie's, and Homesick Alien at 29.2, but yes, and 29.3 from Kale. IR Graham at 29.2. He's on the move. He looks after his tyres well. He's not far from those boys. There is Stevie Styler in his 5th place. Then Noxie still not pitted in 6th. There's Little GP. He's been in. He's put softs on. He's back out on 3/4 of a tank of fuel. There's Gazman, the early pit stop. He's lost a position to Little GP. And there looks like Liam's gained the most there, up into 9th, ahead of Matt Psycho, who's also pitted that last time around. Racer Brown also coming in to see his pit crew. Guesty making a stop with the Aston Martin garage. Alphanut has not pitted, but his fuel is flashing. He's 13th. He can nearly touch the back. There is Richards and Kale going in. Homesick Alien carrying on those racing softs in that Mercedes. He's got just under 1/4 of a tank of fuel. IR Graham also carrying on. He's just got a sliver of less fuel than Homesick Alien. Stevie Styler also staying out there. The 3 soft racing tyres. Clad cars. There's Noxie. He's on the super softs, but he's going to run that car until it's out of fuel. He doesn't. His grip levels look good. His tyres don't look too worn. Little GP, we saw him pit in earlier, and he is moving into 5th place. Gazman there 6th. Is he going to maintain 6th? Kale coming out of the pits in 7th spot, and G Richie's coming out in 9th place. Liam Anfield moving up. Where is he? Pressed all the buttons there. Liam Anfield in 8th place ahead of G Richie's. G Richie's trying to warm up those racing soft tyres as Matt Psycho catches him up into turn 2. Matt Psycho thinks better of it and waits for another opportunity. Racer Brown in 11th spot. 16 minutes into this race. We're on lap 11 of the Red Bull Ring for round 1 of the GTMC Lobby 1. And what a race so far. Fantastic stuff. There is Iron Doctor in 13th, trying to come back. Alpha after his pit stop. So Iron Doctor pulled out a massive amount of space on Alphanut. We saw they were racing each other, but Alphanut's pit stop has put him some way back, as is Daz also in his Jaguar. Sitting back there in 15th place, but he's just gone fastest. He's put his super softs on, not the fastest, his fastest, with a 29.479. Homesick Alien staying out there still, but IR Graham having to come in, forcing the small tank on that Alfa Romeo, not letting him go any further. The Alien has still got a lap in that car, and Stevie Styler also draining that McLaren. It's not a big car. Where do they keep all that fuel? In the tyres? So Little GP, he is now going faster than anyone has gone before on this track. in this race with a 1:28.478. Gasman there in 4th place, but he's under threat from Kale. Kale pitting for those super softs. Gasman's on the softs, sorry. I pressed the same button and it was on Kale because Kale had already made the move, and he's up into 4th and on his way, having a fantastic race there. How did Kale do in the first race? I will tell you, he got 5th place and he's in 4th at the moment. Great stuff from the Chevy Marquis. Gasman down into 5th. That Lexus looking like a proper handful there. Liam Anfield up into 6th with his early pit stop, and G Ritchie's down into 7th, trying to come back from just making his stop. He's put the racing softs on back there. We can see Racer Brown and Matt Psycho going at it. The two Virtual Racing Club boys out there. Homesick Alien into the pits. That means Stevie Styler. Is Stevie Styler going to stay out? He can't. He's got no fuel in that McLaren. There you go, though. 18 minutes into this race, and everyone now has pitted. Little's GP. Oh, I must say, Stevie, I noticed you go sideways into the pit lane. It looked awesome. Sorry I didn't say it at the time. And there you go, Little GP going faster again. Kale up into 2nd place. Gasman now up into a podium position. Liam Anfield in 4th, ahead of G Riches, and Racer Brown in 6th has won that small battle with Matt Psycho in the BMW. Racer Brown more fuel on. They're both on racing super soft tyres. IR Graham in 9th there on the soft tyres. One wonder's happened to him. He was not that far behind Homesick Alien, pitted at the same time, but he's lost some time somewhere. His pit lap was a 1:55.2. Homesick Aliens was a 1:52.3. So IR Graham's 3 seconds longer, but I think IR Graham did put more fuel in, maybe possibly, than Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien under threat from Gasman. Gasman wanting to get, oh no, I think Homesick Alien's just taken that podium from Gasman. I apologise. He's on the super softs, remember. Gasman on the racing softs, following around the Mercedes. Liam Anfield also on the racing softs. Liam Anfield's last lap was a 29.399. Gasman 29.7. Homesick Alien, he's on an out lap, so it's hard to tell. Little GP leading the way at 28.2. He's going faster and faster. There is Kale in 2nd spot in his Chevy. Who would have thunk it? He's doing a great job there. Homesick Alien on the final podium position, coming around to complete his out lap after his pit stops. Gasman in 4th with Liam Anfield a close 5th, so we can see a good battle developing here. And not far behind us, sat here on Liam Anfield's car, is G Riches, as you can see just there, and he's being followed closely by Racer Brown and Matt Psycho. So some beautiful racing over halfway into this race now, as we see Liam Anfield slowing the Alpha down to try and make a move. Oh, I had it. Making a move on the Lexus of Gasman in a great 4th spot, just behind Homesick Alien's Mercedes. He's keeping up with the Mercedes quite well. Say the Mercedes is on super soft tyres, and Gasman in the Lexus on racing softs, as well as this man Liam Anfield, who was sat on board with Racer Brown now ahead of G Ritchie's. Some overtaking behind us, and it looks like Racer Brown has definitely got that one all sewn up. See Matt Psycho just a little bit further back. Oh my lord, we look back out the front and we are all up in Gasman's Lexus, trying to find a way past. Can we get the toe out of this corner? The curbs disrupting the car immensely. We did a 29.2 last time around, 29.7 this time around. I think we've just about lost the toe to Gasman, and Racer Brown getting ever closer. So a quick look through. Little GP here, the BMW in 1st place. He's got a mile ahead of Kale, who has done a great job, 4 second spot so far. Homesick Alien in 3rd in the Merc. He's shaken off Gasman. Now it looks like Liam Anfield is in trouble from the Aston Martin of Racer Brown. Racer Brown is racy today. We saw him fighting with Matt Psycho. He somehow got past G Richards, and now he is aiming his guns at Liam Anfield doing great stuff out there. 28.8 last time around for the Aston Martin. Liam Anfield at 29.7. The Aston Martin on the super soft tyres, the 86 car. A VRC champion. We've got a few out there. I believe Homesick Alien is a VRC champion. Liam Anfield, a VRC champion. Racer Brown, a VRC champion. Matt Psycho, a VRC champion. IR Graham, a VRC champion. Alpha Nut, a VRC champion. So yes, we've got plenty of VRC champs out there at the moment. Ooh, looked like Iron Doctor there. Where was he? In 14th. He's gone bold. He's gone for the medium tyres. Doesn't look like he can get the Chevy to get some grip down. It's a bold move there in that Chevrolet. Daz, he's on the super softs. He's run out of fuel. He's floundering around the back, but he's got good pace at 29.4. He's got out of that Jaguar. So Little GP leading from Kale. Homesick Alien ahead of Gazman. Homesick Alien managing a 28.7 last time round. Gazman 29.5, and here we see Racer Brown and Liam Anfield still at it in the background, side by side going through, and Liam Anfield just moving up. Is he going to get past Gazman? Gazman looking slow out of the corner, but Liam Anfield's got absolutely no fuel on board. Racer Brown nearly half a tank. Gazman nearly just under half a tank. So Liam Anfield, he's rushing there. Three wide into turn 3. That was unbelievable. And Gazman coming out on top, but I think Liam Anfield backed right out of it because he saw that space in front of him getting ever smaller. I think I might even want to have a look at that. Sorry guys, because that looked crazy. Where are we? So we're just coming up to turn 3. 3 wide, sat on board with Liam Anfield. And as we come into the corner, we brake. And there you can see there's absolutely no room there for us. And that's Liam Anfield down into 6th spot. So Little GP smashing out those 28s. Kale, he's done a 28.9, 28.7, 28.7. He's got great pace in that Chevy, but he's not going to catch. Well, I don't know, Little GP. He's not a superhuman miles ahead. Homesick Alien also in the 28s. He's on a good push, keeping up with Kale. So no one knows about the podiums. Racer Brown now pushing on in 4th spot. We're guessing Liam Anfield's going to drop into the pits now. Gazman moving up into 4th. Racer Brown. Well, no, Racer Brown in 4th, sorry. Oh, Gazman followed Liam Anfield into the pits. So Matt Psycho now in 5th place ahead of IR Graham. I mentioned IR Graham's a champion, didn't I? And Matt Psycho. I'm just making sure someone doesn't message me saying, oh, what happened to my championship? What am I? Swiss cheese. So Stevie Styler in 8th place. Noxie 10th, but I think, where did Gazman just come out of the pits? In 9th behind Stevie Styler. He pitted on lap 12. He's doing alright on those racing softs. Half a tank of fuel in the chat. Mr. Skyjacker saying, hiya, Mr. Magic. Hey, Mr. Magic. It's a Little GP leading the way from Kale. Homesick Alien trying all he can to catch up that Corvette. A 28.9 last time round for Homesick Alien. Kale managing a 29.2. So 0.3 faster for the Alien. Racer Brown at 30.0. He's got a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Homesick Alien's got a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Kale, a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Little GPs, he's going to have to come in for a pit stop. Kale, we've got 15 minutes left of racing. Less than 15 minutes left of racing. So Homesick Alien there in 3rd place. Racer Brown in 4th. 28.9 last time around for Racer Brown. Matt Psycho, ooh, he's going to have to come in the pits. That BMW not getting the best use out of its fuel. And IR Graham there. Wow, IR Graham, he could possibly go till the end. When did he pit? On lap 11? Surely not. And he's still got all that fuel. Do you think he's been fuel saving for a while? He's doing 28s, same as everyone else. So IR Graham leaning out that Alpha's fuel. 7th place for Guesty. He's got less than a quarter of a tank of fuel now. His tyre's not looking too great. Did a 30.8 last time around. He's ahead of the McLaren of Stevie Styler. A 29.8 last time around for Stevie Styler. Just under half a tank of fuel. Gasman there in 9th place at 28.4. Oh, that was an outlap. So Stevie Gasman just... Oh yeah, because he was up there, wasn't he, behind Homesick. Yeah, he came in. He came in with Liam Anfield. So Noxie split in, him and Liam Anfield. There's Liam Anfield. Also just coming out of the pits ahead of Alphanut. Alphanut, ooh, he's going to have to come in the pits himself soon. Little GP into the pits. Iron Doctor there 13th and 14th for Daz. So we've lost someone. Someone's DNF'd before the end of the race. So Kale now leading. How's... Oh yes, because Little GP's gone in. So's the other BMW. Both BMWs into the pits. Kale leading. He's got less than a quarter of a tank of fuel. And we've got 12.5 minutes left of a racing. I think these two will pit before the end of this race. Racer Brown also not great on fuel. IR Graham, he's just over a quarter of a tank of fuel now. 5th place for Guesty. He's low on fuel and his tyres are meh, shall we say meh. And Little's GP in 6th place, 3/4 of a tank of fuel. That must be what it takes to get to the end of this race. Stevie Styler in 7th place. In 8th, we've got Gasman. Gasman coming out of the pits on Super Softs. He thinks there's only half a tank of fuel to get to the end of this race. Matt Psycho there. He's gone for 3/4, but that BMW we think may be a little bit more thirsty than the other cars. Noxie in 10th place there. Is that enough? Liam Anfield in 11th, 3/4 of a tank of fuel also. When did he last pit? On lap 16, yes, we saw him coming in with Gaz, I think. Not Daz, but Gasman. Iron Doctor there, he's gone for their medium tyres, half a tank of fuel left. He's not getting much grip out of those, but he's ahead of Alphanut by some way. So Racer Brown coming into the pits, and there is Daz. He's getting good lap times out of that Jaguar though, in the Super Softs with Alphanut. He's just come out of the pits as Alphanut behind the Iron Doctor. Don't know if that's enough for the Iron Doctor to get to the end. So Kale leading from Homesick Alien. Little GP now moving up into 3rd place because Racer Brown's pitted, Guesty's pitted. They're all starting to pit now. When will Kale? Kale's fuel is flashing. Homesick Alien's fuel is flashing. We've got just over 10 minutes left of this race. Little GP ready to retake the lead with a nice full fuel tank and fresh racing soft tyres. In 4th, Gasman again on the super soft tyres, just over a quarter of a tank of fuel, but he's under threat from Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler, he's up alongside the Lexus with Racer Brown just coming out of the pits on his super soft tyres, looking like he wants to race this as well. And we're talking 4th, 5th and 6th racing on the track here after 30 minutes of racing, and IR Graham is not far behind this little crowd also. So Gasman in 4th, Stevie Styler in 5th, Racer Brown in 6th, IR Graham there in 7th, Matt Psycho in 8th. He's a little bit further back from that fight. He's just ahead of Noxie in 9th, Liam Anfield in 11th. There goes Cal and Homesick both pitting at the same time. Guesty in 11th, Iron Doctor 12th, Alphanut in 13th, Daz. So there they go, they're getting their tyres changed. They were close on the track there. Kale's down, so's Homesick, the fuel is going in. Little GP already coming around to retake the lead. Where can Gasman do? Gasman's in the last corner, coming back. Kale, where? Oh, they're dropping here. Kale's still stationary. Homesick Alien, Homesick Alien's on the move. Kale's only just moving. Homesick Alien's put a lot less fuel in than Kale. Surely Kale's filled it right to the brim. Homesick Alien back out in 2nd spot with just over half a tank of fuel. Gasman moving up into 3rd place. There is Stevie Styler. Can he make that last till the end? Racer Brown up into 5th place. It's so tight. Kale's come out in 7th place. Kale must be dismayed, but he's filled that car up for just 9 minutes of racing. Was that overkill, or will we see some of these other guys really having to fuel save in the last few laps? Little's GP just over half a tank of fuel. He did a 29.1 his last time around. He's on the racing soft tyres. We have got 8.5 minutes left of racing. Homesick Alien in second place on the super soft tyres, just over half a tank of fuel. He's ahead of Gazman. Gazman there, he's less than a quarter of a tank of fuel. I'm not sure that's going to be enough for Gazman to get to the end of this race. Racer Brown on half a tank of fuel. Super soft tyres. Hunting down third place. He got third from the sprint race, so a pair of podiums would be lovely there for him, like a pair of wins. Oh no, Guy Graham won the first race, sorry. It's a little GP. And there comes Homesick Alien in second spot. Gazman dropping into the pits. Racer Brown moving up into the podium position. IR Graham then in fourth. Who else dropped in? Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler dropped in. So Kale now up into fifth place. He's got to get past IR Graham though, before he can even have a look at Racer Brown. They're all close together. They're going to bunch up. Homesick Alien, Racer Brown, IR Graham, Kale, all on the same bit of road. So's Matt Psycho, Noxie. There's Liam Anfield moving up into 8th. Guesty in 9th place. He's catching up Liam Anfield. Gazman coming out of the pits behind his teammate. No, not his teammate. Stevie Styler in 11th with Iron Doctor. In 12th, Alpha Nut 13th. Daz having to come back in that Jaguar. Ooh, what a stressful day for Daz today. Little GP then with only 7 minutes left of racing. It looks like he's got it all in hand. Homesick Alien back in second spot, being chased down by Racer Brown. He's getting purples, is Racer Brown. IR Graham hunting then down, 29.0 from IR Graham last time around, and Kale also pushing like a Billy-O. Let's get on board as we can see the back end of IR Graham in 4th place, just ahead of us, and Matt Psycho, not Matt Psycho, Racer Brown just disappearing in the distance. Oh my gosh, what a race. 6.5 minutes left. We're on lap 22 of round 1 of the GTMC Season 4. So Noxie coming into the pits, giving Liam Anfield another position. And Guesty also moving up into 8th place. And Kale there, 29.3 last time around. How is everyone doing? Homesick Alien, 28.9 from Homesick Alien. Racer Brown managing a 28.1. So that is some 0.8 faster than the Alien. The Alien is going to be under threat. 28.6 from IR Graham. Kale managing a 29.3. Matt Psycho pushing for a 29.2. Liam Anfield at 29.1. His fastest so far in the race. He's got Guesty hunting him down with a 29.0. Guesty has got some speed at the moment. He's having a look. Guesty having a look around the outside of turn 3. Is he going to slip it up the inside? He's trying, but Liam Anfield has got that apex well guarded. Oh, but look, but Liam Anfield again has got that inside line covered. But no, just the grunt of the Aston Martin. He's sliding. He's sliding on the outside there, giving. Oh, they're side by side. Liam Anfield trying to give him enough space. And Guesty there up into 7th. Liam Anfield down into 8th. That Alpha looks like it needs a bit of poke in a straight line. And now Liam Anfield looking, thinking about it. So little GP, he's there leading the way. 5 minutes left of racing here at the Red Bull Ring. A 28.4 from little GP last time. There is Homesick Alien, a 28.8 from the Alien. Racer Brown, a 28.0 and the fastest lap of the race as he is hunting down a second spot, and he's got 4.5 minutes to do something about it. IR Graham there, 28.9. Looks like Kale's starting to close down on him now, 28.8. Not much difference between the two of them at this moment. 29.2 from the second BMW of Matt Psycho. Guesty in 7th ahead of Liam Anfield. This fight's going to go on all the way up to the checkered flag. Gazman there in 9th. Happy to see them fighting in front of him. He's just done his fastest with the 29.1. Stevie Styler in 10th in that McLaren, a 29.3 from his last time round. They're all going faster than they've gone before. Noxie, 28.9. Alpha Nuts, 29.9. He's ahead of Iron Doctor and Daz. Daz is starting to catch up the Iron Doctor on those medium tyres. There is, I don't know, is he still on the medium tyres? No, he's changed to super soft tyres now, but under threat from Daz. Little GP coming around to start the 25th lap. Homesick Alien with that Racer Brown problem ever looming closer. I.R. Graham also coming in tight, and Kale coming along for the ride. So Homesick Alien at 28.7 his last time around. 29.2 from Racer Brown, not as fast as the Alien. I.R. Graham at 28.9 also, and Kale doing a 28.7. Nothing in it between second to fifth. Matt Psycho 29.0. We're into the last 3 minutes of racing, 2 laps to go. Guesty in 7th ahead of Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield, oof, maybe he's fuel saving with only a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Oh no, Guesty's got even less fuel than Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield looking up the inside, but Liam Anfield coming to a full stop. There comes Gasman. This is Gasman's dream, and now we see Liam Anfield having to wait for Guesty. I think Guesty had a bit of an off, and there Liam Anfield waiting. The honourable thing, a nice redress. There you go. And Guesty back up, but I think Guesty will have to pit before the end of this race. Little GP just under a quarter of a tank of fuel at 28.5 last time around. Homesick Alien on those super softs 28.7. Racer Brown 29.2. We saw that, sorry, getting yourself all worked up. It looks closer between Kale and I.R. Graham. Matt Psycho pretty much on his own in this race. Gasman getting himself ahead of Guesty and Liam Anfield, and so did Stevie Styler, moving himself up into 8th place. 9th for Guesty now, 10th for Liam Anfield, the reigning champion. One to forget, I think, at the Ring of Hell. There is a Noxie in 11th in his Lexus. Alpha Nut finishing in, his 12th, ahead of Iron Doctor, but we saw Daz catching him up, but no, he somehow lost the back end of the Iron Doctor. I thought he was catching him up. Last minute and a half into this race. Homesick Alien still ahead of Racer Brown, but here we see I.R. Graham and Kale virtually on top of each other. What a finale we're going to get. Will Racer Brown catch up Homesick Alien in this last upcoming lap? And can Kale get past the Alpha of I.R. Graham? Matt Psycho's 6th place looks pretty much fixed behind them, with Gasman in 7th. There you see Kale. He can see that Alpha is struggling with the corners. He's catching him up in the corners easily. There's Homesick Alien, still somewhat of a lead ahead of this man Racer Brown, who's doing all he can to get up with that Mercedes. There we see I.R. Graham under pressure from the South African Kale LNR, racing for the Logistical Nightmare Racing team and the HP Wheel Deals. He used to have a teammate called Elevate. I miss you, Elevate, if you still watch. And Stick 4 used to race here, and Psycho Pace, or Sheep, as we used to know him as. So Little GP leading the way. His fuel is flashing, but this will be his final lap. Homesick Alien also fuel flashing, but it's definitely the final lap. We've got 3 seconds left for those who haven't crossed the line. There we see Kale trying to go around the outside of I.R. Graham, but I.R. Graham maintaining, but no, Kale up into 4th. The grunt of the Chevy, too much for that poor little Alpha. And the Alpha is absolutely on fumes, whereas Kale really filled up, didn't he? We did say he didn't need to fill up as much, but now it's paying dividends because he can just be as happy as he likes with his accelerator. Little GP, no, we're some way off yet. So Kale, I.R. Graham down to 5th, Matt Psycho all on his own in 6th, 7th for Gasman. There is 8th, Liam Anfield. So Guesty has finished. Noxie finished in 11th, Alpha Nut in 12th, Iron Doctor 13th, and Daz is just about to come round for 14th. Super stuff there, Daz. It'll get better. There's Little GP just rounding the last corner to take the win of the feature race of round 1. Congratulations, Little GP. Can Homesick Alien stay ahead of Racer Brown? It looks that way. So a great second spot from Homesick Alien, with Racer Brown just coming around for third. Take a bit of my son. There's Kale ahead of Aya Graham for fourth and fifth. Matt Psycho bringing her home for sixth place. No fuel in that car. Siree. There is seventh for Gazman. He was up there on the podiums early on, but that Lexus does look a bit of a handful, and there Gazman crosses in seventh. Stevie Styler moving over the line in eighth, and you can just see Liam Anfield coming around, and I'm playing there. I think he's out of fuel, isn't he? Yeah, he looked like he was driving slow. I thought I was never going to get away with that any other way. Oh, yes please, Zach. Thank you, bud. That's very kind of you. The child offering me the Minion. He's even wearing a yellow t-shirt, so that's handy. The Minion offering me a latte. He wasn't offering me a latte, he was just stood there staring at me doing this. I think my children are bewildered when I do commentary. They don't understand it. So there he is, Little GP. He won the race. He's hiding behind, oh no, I don't want to. I want a different angle of Little GP. Little GP, a bit bashful there, hiding behind the Red Bull Ring sign in his BMW. It doesn't seem fair. Yeah, there you go. Little GP taking the win after his second spot in the sprint race and a win in the feature race. Could be a champion in the making there, methinks. Second place for Homesick Alien. Great race after his 13th in the sprint race. That second place will be well received. In third, and your final podium position, is Racer Brown. I don't think that dude knows how to finish any lower than third. Take a boo, my son. Congratulations to the top three. There's Kale, the almost man, almost there, almost. Kale fourth after a fifth in the first race, but remember, this championship is all about consistency. IR Graham finishing in fifth place. That Alpha looking like it looks a little bit down on pace in the Group 3 category. So fifth place for IR Graham, sixth place there for Matt Psycho. A little bit lonely for him near the end. I think he was tuning into Radio 2. See what Jeremy Vine had to say about things, but Matt Psycho finishing in sixth place. I'm looking for him. Matt Psycho seventh from the first race, so a slow start to his GTMC campaign. Seventh place for Gazman, but after 15th in the sprint, I'm sure he'll take a seventh place. Eighth for Stevie Styler, racy today in that McLaren. It looks racy, but has it got the top end to take him to a championship win? Ninth in the first race, eighth in the second. Come the twistier tracks, I think that McLaren is going to look spectacular, as will the Alphas. Ninth place there for our reigning champion, Liam Anfield, with the number 1 car. Finishing in number 9. 10th for Guesty in the Aston Martin. Sorry. So that's 2 10s, a pair. You've got a pair there, Guesty. 11th there for Noxie in the Lexus. The Lexus looks like a handful. Looks a bit of a lump. So, where is Noxie? Where are you, Noxie? Noxie, he got 14th in the first race, so he'll be, I imagine, marginally happy with 11th. 12th place is Alpha Nuts. We saw he was out of it on the first lap. That's that Toyota, a little bit skittish, but he's got himself ahead of the Iron Doctor, who finished in 13th, 6th in the first race. 13th in this race. He tried the medium tyres. I'm not sure he'll do that again, but we'll see. And Daz finishing in 14th. Never really figured. I think he must have had an issue early on in this race in his Jaguar, and he was quite back there. So I'd say back to our winner. You can't see him though. I'll tell you what, we'll look at Matt Psycho because it's a similar car. No, we won't, because they're bad camera angles as well. Anyway, so little GG's, he won it right there behind that Red Bull ring. That was GTMC Lobby 1, Round 1 at the Red Bull Ring. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who races. You do all the work, and it is amazing to watch. I do get such a thrill. I'm just flicking through my iPad right now, looking for a page to say goodbye to you all, to tell me what my name is, because I have mild amnesia. That's some mild amnesia if you can't remember your name. Alright then, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. That was GTMC L1 round 4. Join us again for the next round of the GTMC. I think it's Lago Maggiore, but do not write that in ballpoint pen, only in pencil. I was your commentator and broadcaster. Oh my God. I might go with one of my favourites, T. Nanel. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you soon. Love you all. Cheerio.